You are a high protein consuming baby doll baby cake friend. And we're going to look at some narratives that are upcoming for crypto. And before we even go through, just remember my sayings are still true. It doesn't matter what the narrative is. These are retailer traps every single time. The upside, the downside, going left, going right, doing a handstand. Gary Gensler's OnlyFans, it does not matter. There's a new story every single time. So I'm here to warn you. They are cool for general interest. I always have a bullish undertone, of course, because we're holding for the long-term vision. But this is not the be-all and end-all. Look at this, a kind list of narratives and stories. They are cool to see on the list, but these will offer you no edge. Our competitive edge is found in the power of compound interest. And yes, that does encompass network effects because you get the power of compound interest in networks growing. That's how crypto seems to be valued as of today. Holding for long periods of time will give us the highest win rate. Doesn't give us 100% win rate. It does not guarantee us of anything. It just increases the win rate. We are going to glance over these for general interest because you have a straight posture and so do I. My chair is very squeaky and yes, I'm wearing very warm socks right now. We're going to have a deep dive here. Have a look at this. This is what the mindset is of the average retailer, the average normie, people with normal sized brains. We have peanut brains. These are just too many words. All I see is candle go up, candle go down. That's all I can compute. And if you give me a long enough time frame, candle go up. You wait 24 months, candle go up. You wait 24 months, candle go up again. That's all I can compute. So let's go and have a check through these. The inflation and liquidity catalysts. So of course, it's going to preface it with, is there an undertone for crypto? Have a look at this. So China devaluing, the Chinese yuan, credit expansion and more liquidity. This is always going to be happening. Yes, this is a bullish undertone. When America slows down, China will want to pick up the pieces of the destruction to get more business. You know, this is nothing new. This is just competition doing its thing. The next point, debt to GDP is at 121%. Interest payments are at 6% GDP and growing. You know what else is growing? Our friendship. That's exactly what I was talking about. What were you talking about? Look at this. These interest payments will inevitably flow into securities and hard assets since they come from the folks, institutions that are buying T-bills and RRP. Recommended retail poopy. Look, at the end of the day, we knew this, friends. We knew this. The government debt is big, but the government is powerful. The government can always psyops us. So when we see our wonderful chart here of Bitcoin going up, I hate to say it, but it just gets priced in. People are storing their fiat in our crypto industry because they are pricing these in. And this is the total crypto market cap. We're at like $1 trillion. Hopefully one day we go to 7 or 8 trillion. This is not an accident. We are growing because people are getting the value proposition over time. We're just hoping that we're early enough to get some kindness and friendship along the way. Next point, we have next year, 2024. It's the year after 2023. 2024 is the US presidential election year, generally bullish for the economy. So what this refers to, if you go back in history, generally the discussions about pumping up prices and stimulations, not that kind of stimulation, as in economy stimulation, all those talks, all those infrastructure spending, they get spoken about towards the election, so before the election. So what happens is the market usually prices in the good stuff before it. So I know this is a one month chart. If you go to a weekly, we're going to go down, click on a weekly, W for friendship. You can see here that I've just got these arrows going up. Now, this is just a coincidence because if we go to the S&P 500, it's generally the same as well. The year before the election year, the market starts to recover from its damage just because it starts to price in that infrastructure stuff coming. The market can digest. How much money is going to go to tax cuts? What are they going to do for handouts? What are they going to do? Are they going to build a new bridge? Is there going to be a new fluffy slipper department store? All these amazing critical things that we need, they start to be spoken about, and then the market starts pricing it in. That's why, if you go back to the history of stats, you often see that the S&P 500 tends to perform really good in the year before election year, and it starts to continue into that. So you also have Bank Term Funding Program. That was the QE printing that they didn't call QE. Okay, so they said Bank Term Funding Program. Bank deposits are backstopped by the US government. This has always been there. This is just the undertone for everything going crypto. These news, friends, we always knew these. These are always going to be around. They're always developing. They're always there. And honestly, it's not the be all and end all. The network effect is still growing. So we also have some critical volatility or deflationary catalysts. Automatically, it's funny, I noticed straight away 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, you notice the people who I know this is very subtle and subconscious, but people who make these types of lists, they tend to lean bearish. They'll always have more points and more aggressive points for the bearish downside cases in everything. And this is something you'll notice. That's why you like, subscribe, press my belly button and then your belly button, and press all on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much for listening. Gather around, gather around. You're going to see this live in action. We're seeing it right now. Volatility, deflationary assets. AI is eating the jobs. Layoffs. Right, so this is the unemployment FUD. Persistent or high inflation, otherwise known as sticky inflation. Not that sticky. Sticky inflation, the data staying sticky. Don't forget, the government rigs the data. Student loan repayments, commercial real estate lease renewals, and then also the treasury account being refilled. Oh no. Honestly, let's just give it a big fat X. We don't care. We are peanut brains. We have a green pumpermental line going up and to the right, and I don't care what happens. Unless it's a comet coming to hit Earth, I don't care. We're going up. That's all you need to know in this game. I know this is going to sound crazy. I know you're probably wondering, this can't possibly be true. Yes, it's true. If it's not true, we all go to zero anyway. So the way I see it, you got to be in it. It's daring you not to get in. If we go down, it's over. If we go up, it's not over. And coincidentally, I'm watching an Ivan stream, and Dawage here, I just, for some reason, in the random chat, saw me, our best friend. Thank you very much. I have no idea why I am being mentioned in a completely irrelevant chat group. This is, oh, someone's talking about hot ladies. Thank you very much. You know, friends, it's crazy. We're not that large. All right. We are the psychos. We are the mentally deranged. We are the peanut brains. All the normal sized people who actually contribute to society and who make the economy go round, and the reason why we have everything to begin with, they're going to come gamble later. They're going to outnumber us at least 4-1, worst case. So when they come, it's going to be monumental to see the witnessing of the change, but a lot of new people are going to be coming in, and we're going to be ready for that. So that's all we're looking forward to. That's why I want to have this chart up and to the right. That's what I'm actually thinking about. We're not thinking about, you know, oh, inflation. Oh, wow, golly gee. It's okay. It's all right. All these, I'm sorry to do this to this person's work. I'm just going to have to give you an X. But hey, at least I use the green pumpermental X here. I'm telling you now, learning these will only confuse you. I go through these because I want to show you, like, you get to see me process this and then just palm it off. Goodbye, palm it off, squash it, see you later, I don't care. These are irrelevant, all right? Nothing is taking away our little salty peanut brain. Nothing. We're going up and to the right. The network effect is growing. That's all I care about. Now we have bull crypto catalysts. Okay, look at this. Institutions have been bidding hard. Honestly, this means absolutely nothing. Institutions, who cares? Sailor holds 17,000 Bitcoin, 140,000 through MicroStrategy. Okay, just to let you know, this is not actually bullish. This is actually bearish, because now Michael Saylor is in already. He can only dump the price, okay? Tesla holds 10,000 Bitcoin. Square holds 8,000. Okay, so it's funny. These are not real bullish catalysts. You know what I would write? What I would write is the crypto industry tried to go to zero and it flushed out the weekends. And that's it. That's all you need to know. Don't worry about who owns what, whatever. It's just like, okay, well, we culled the week. Now let's move on. The Bitcoin halvening. Of course, the Bitcoin halvening, for some reason, some magic, Entrepreneurs come and gather around, and it is a bullish thing. We have BlackRock ETF. I made videos about it, told you, broke it to you live with your straight posture and your 5 ice cubes in your orange juice cup, talking about the Bitcoin spot ETF from BlackRock that will get it and will ultimately be the demise of Bitcoin upside. Unfortunately, they are coming to axe us. That's why we're in altcoins. We're years ahead of the game. Let everybody play that game. Unfortunately, if they want to be lemmings and fall off the cliff, what can we do? We tried our best, okay? We have Coinbase SEC, Coinbase fighting back. Garbage Gensler, he's going to go out. So yes, all of these undertones. I promise you, at the end of the day, you never know how they get solved. You just know, I promise you right now, you just know if you hold long enough, for some reason, that just happens, okay? You don't know, that's it. We're either going to go down to zero, the whole industry freaking goes to zero, that could happen and we lose everything, or, I don't know, we just keep growing and just things keep getting sorted out. You know, you might see this peanut brain approach and you might be confused and you might think to yourself, it can't possibly be like this. And let me tell you why you're wrong. All right. Yes, it is possibly like this. Let me explain. When an industry stops going to zero and it starts to go the other way, there is speculation done. The people who could crush it, the people who are building, the community leaders, the founders, and everybody else in the legal framework and government, words get spread around about the potential of this technology. And what they do is they forecast how high the money could be in 10 years. So they're not dealing about, 1 year, 2 year. They keep saying, whoa, this thing is $1 trillion today. But in 10 to 15 years, it could be worth 50 trillion. We could be the next USA. We could be the next Silicon Valley. We can be the next financial hub of the world. We will increase the purchasing power of every citizen of our country. We will be able to build more bridges and roads and fluffy slipper factories. Of course, all of those will come. That's how leaders and founders of cities and nations, that's how they're thinking. They're not thinking about, what's going to happen in the next 12 months. These people are thinking about giant, slow-moving legacies. So when crypto starts to go the other way, that's exactly what they start dreaming about. Someone comes and says to them, hey, that debt? Well, if crypto grows this big and you're hiring all the people, well, guess what? You get to pay off that debt. And then what they end up doing is they end up reverse engineering and they say, we can spend a lot more money now because we're going to make a lot in the future. That's how governments work. That's how all of these long-term planning and budgeting works. You also have the bearish catalysts at the very end here. US government are going to sell 200,000 Bitcoin. You might also say it's priced in because everybody's known about it for so long and no one really cares, right? Because, what really happens, friends, is we can absorb the selling. The problem is we want the bids to stay. So the selling can be absorbed, but we want people to just leave bids there and go, hey, come and hit me. I'm happy to accept, right? If what you don't want is there to be mass panic where people start to remove their bids and then now it's super thin and now Mt. Gox have to be selling. And guess what? Not only are they selling, you have little Jimmy who's watching YouTubers and he's selling as well. That's what we don't want. And guess what? It's outside of our control anyway. And obviously the very, very last point, Celsius dumping odds for Bitcoin and ETH starting. So I understand these are like counter supply pressure. They're only people that you can identify as the big bad seller. But most likely the real selling that we're worried about has nothing to do with anything that me and you can see. This is, if you go back in history, this is actually what's most likely the scenario that's going to play out. It's whatever you're not watching, or whatever you can't think about, that's actually the point of focus you have to have. So when it comes to Bitcoin and Ethereum and everything moving up and down, it doesn't really matter. We know we're trying to get to this golden box of friendship. Maybe the Bitcoin spot ETF is going to do the massive scam up here. Maybe. But until then, we're going to be holding until the Bitcoin halvening. These narratives, they're going to come, they're going to morph, they're going to change. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Crypto solves too many problems. We are way too small. The freaking stock market's 100 trillion. It's a freaking Ponzi. Okay, there's 40 trillion sitting in M2 money sitting around there literally doing nothing. How the hell are we 1 trillion? What kind of scam is this? 1 trillion for crypto? Get out of here. 1 trillion when 40 trillion is sitting in cash literally doing nothing? M2 floating around the world by the printed Ponzi? Come on, our Ponzi should be worth at least this 5 trillion mark. I hope it goes to the 10 trillion. If we follow this yellow line, at least you had a chance to buy in the depression, friends, because at the end of the day, this is where we want to be. We want to be buying when no one is sure, and then we want to be selling when everybody is sure. Me and you will always be sure of our friendship. Tell mom and dad, we're going to make it. Don't worry about those bearish narratives because we are bullish on mom and dad. Like, subscribe, press the belly button and all. I'm going to catch you in the next one.